balance is bullshit because I truly believe that because you are setting yourself up for failure if you think that it's supposed to be balanced all the time.
Hello, Empower Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Empower Her Money. I'm your host, Angela Duncan. I am an author, serial entrepreneur, and we are going to talk things all about business and money. My guest today is Tanya Wilson, and she is a serial entrepreneur, mother, wife, and is juggling lots and lots of things. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you.
Awesome. Tanya, tell us a little bit about you, your journey, and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. So I am originally from Wyoming. I currently live in Arizona right now, and I am just a country girl at heart. So I've kind of stayed in those lines and industries of work, lots of construction. I worked for a beer company for a long time doing marketing, lots of good old boy type industry stuff. So worked with a lot of men. I really always took great pride in that. And like, I just got along. I grew up with a bunch of brothers, like this guy's gal type of thing, and continued into that industry, into my professional life. I was doing marketing for a really long time until I met my kid's dad, and he had learned the trade of septic systems and wastewater. And when we got together, he's like, we were in Wyoming. He's like, I want to move back to Arizona and start this business. And I was like, what? Like, what am I going to tell my girlfriends? Like, now we own a poop business? Like, what am I supposed to say? Needless to say, I fell in love with this poop business that we started. I have started 3 septic companies in the Phoenix area since 2009. And I currently run a business called Priority Pumping. It's based out of Gilbert, Arizona. We offer full service wastewater services from residential septic systems to huge commercial interceptors. And then we also design and install those systems as well. In my journey of doing all this stuff, man, I just really saw a lot of women that get into the trades industry because their husband's working for somebody else and they decide that they're going to go out on their own and start their own business. And then he says, here, babe, figure out how to run this business for me, right? Because he's really good at the field stuff and she like has no idea what she's doing. Or maybe she's been in just like clerical work or is an HR person or something. And they've got like one little thing, but now they're in charge of running this whole business. That is where I would network with a lot of these women. I would go to networking events when I was in their shoes and I'd be like, I don't find anybody that looks like me that's doing the things that I do. So I actually founded a group. It's called Ladies Kickin Ass. We run a podcast by the same name, and it is a group of women that work in the skilled trades or service industries that can get together, lean on each other for support, and really be able to have that mentorship, collaboration with other women. Most of them are working mom entrepreneurs too. So just so that they don't feel like they're alone and they've got someone that they can do business and life with together, because I truly believe that you shouldn't do either one of those by yourself. So those are my 2 big passions right now. I love what I do and I love being able to help women really kick ass in this kind of industry.
Yeah, that's awesome. In a male-dominated industry, you found a way to connect with women because I truly believe that we run businesses differently than our male counterparts. Not good, not bad. It's just different. We tend to be more heart-centered and more caring, where a man thinks more logic and is brain focused. So having a group of ladies like that you helped put together in an industry that's mostly men, that's just incredible. So I love the support system that you have there. So speaking of women in general, I know that you are a wife and you are a mother and you're running businesses. Talk about, how do you juggle all of this? What's important for you?
I think the key word to that is juggle and know that there are seasons, because I think a lot of times people hear this word of this work-life balance and they feel like they're failing because it's not balanced. In our world, balance is bullshit because I truly believe that, because you are setting yourself up for failure if you think that it's supposed to be balanced all the time. Nothing in life is really balanced all the time. You're going to have highs when you've got to be at work, and you're going to have other highs when you got to be at home because you've got sick babies or maybe a new baby or something else that's going on in your personal life. I think the most important thing with that is communication for everybody that's involved. Communicate with your team at work, communicate with your kids, communicate with your spouse or family members that need to help you, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I think that's one of the things in women. For me, for sure, I was a single mom of a 1 and a 4-year-old, and I was like, took great pride in taking care of everything and wore busyness like a badge of honor. I'm so busy all the time. I'm doing this. And you realize that busyness leads to burnout. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to get to that point because we're all doing things that we love and we want to continue to do those things. And we don't want to take out all of the stress on our little people that we're doing all of this stuff for. So I think really being able to ask for help and really prioritizing your day and what is important and learning to be able to give things to other people if they're able to do it, even at 70% of what you're doing, so that you can continue to live in some kind of harmony in your life, including the fact that you take care of yourself and you're also on that to-do list at some point during the day.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking care of yourself. And I oftentimes say balance means that I'm standing on my 2 feet. If I'm still standing and I'm still
Yeah.
here, I've got balance. Whatever else the world looks like around me, I'm just rolling with it. But at the end of the day, if I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm on my feet, then that's a win for me. So
Yeah.
you touched a little bit about taking care of yourself. What are some things that you personally do to help take care of yourself?
One thing in the morning, I always get up before anybody else in my entire household. I have 5 children that live at my house, and trying to find quiet time once everyone is awake is impossible. So I will get up before that time. I've really found a lot of stress relief and centeredness with breath work that I've been working through.
Mhm.
I have always been a very anxious person. I'd always be like feeling like I'm stressed out all the time. Really centering myself in the morning and working through some of those things with breath work has been so incredibly important to me. I also, before I ever start, I don't ever like look at anything on my phone first thing in the morning. It is sit down, do my breath work, sit down with my coffee in the morning, and then journal, because journaling has been a godsend for me. For me to be able to sleep at night, like I would lay and be like anxious and I got to do this and I got to do this. I bookend my day. I start with gratitude and talking about the top 3 things I want to work on or big goals that I have going on, or listen to something motivational and journal with that. At the end of the day, how did the day go? Just being able to dump it out and not have to go to bed with that has really helped me stay more centered and aligned with who I want to be. And it's super important that I take that time. I feel like if I'm not taking care of myself, it's very selfish because then I'm not as good as I want to be for the people that I'm trying to do all this stuff for.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it. And I do the journal too. First thing in the morning, before I do anything else, I'm writing out, what my goals are currently. And then I write a statement about gratitude, something that I'm grateful for, and then kind of envision what the future looks like. Because when I know that I have a goal in front of me and I envision it and I feel it in my heart, then I'm working towards it constantly. I might not always be conscious about that, but I'm working towards it constantly. So I love that. So being that you are the poop mom, as you kind of joked about, mother of 5 in the household, they learn by seeing what we do. But how do you take time out to kind of teach them the importance behind being a business owner and perhaps behind the money aspect of being an entrepreneur as well?
I involve them. I think a lot of times we think like this is my work life and then this is my home life and this is my personal life. All of it is my life. These kids are my life, my business is my life, my finances are my life, my husband is my life. I incorporate all of them. So, like something fun I love to do with my daughter, she's 13 years old. We have a little business that we run together. We go to vendor fairs. She has created like sugar scrubs and we go sell these together. She's learning how to sell to people. She's learning that she's getting her own money. She's learning what taxes are and how that works. Like, it's really cool to teach those fundamentals of things. I don't expect her to run this whole thing by herself. She's 13. And we only really do vendor fairs around holiday times with this stuff. It's not like a full-time thing we're doing, but it's something fun where we've incorporated, she's taken ownership in this. We really market it for like teen skincare stuff. So it's really fun to be able to instill those little things with them, get them thinking about stuff. My 10-year-old's always like, Mom, we should start a bakery. And then he wants a taco truck. And then he wants something else because he's sat and watched and we've talked in conversation so much about our dreams together. Like, don't
Mm-hmm.
keep those to yourself. Share them with your kids. When we're talking about money things, with my daughter, I'll sit down when I'm reconciling a bank account thing and I'll have her mark them off for me. And she'll be like, "What are you doing?" Even just little things like that. I'm spending time with her and we're able to have conversations about why we do this and what we're doing it for. Marketing things, any of this stuff that you do in your business, your kids are interested in what you're doing. If you make it something fun and really like kids are all about themselves, this is how I can help you do things. We talk about, finances things. My kids get $20 every week if they check off their chores through a little app that they have on their own phone. You want something? You better do your chores so that you get these things. It's teaching them responsibility of what it means to earn money and then what to do with it as well. There's different age appropriateness to that. I have a 7-year-old too. He gets, $5 if he goes out and like picks weeds and picks up dog poop, something like that. But he's so proud of that $5 that he gets.
Yeah.
Teaching them that you have to do work to get money, or you have to have a skill and provide that to someone to get the money. The money just doesn't come to you like I think a lot of younger generations think it does anymore.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So including the children in the business, encouraging them to have their own business. And I think something you touched on earlier too is you're teaching them communication skills, like how to talk from a business owner perspective. And it's definitely not something that's taught in schools, as we know. And then, encouraging them to kind of make their mistakes now and figure out what avenue they want to be in. Maybe there's, they switch industries, maybe they go from a service to, who knows what. And I'll say if more parents taught their children about money, I probably wouldn't have any clients as a financial coach. So I love that you are taking that responsibility on now and you understand the importance behind it. So
I
that's
think one
awesome.
of the most important things with that, sorry not to cut you off, but like I think one of the most important things with including kids in that is that like we have went to like vendor shows and it rained on us the whole time and we were locked in there until everybody left. We didn't make any money except for grandma that came and felt sorry for us, like you're teaching them failure is part
Mhm.
of life too. Because I think a lot of times when people get older, they have great ideas and they want to start a business, but they're so damn scared that they're going to fail. Like, let's
Mhm.
show them that it's okay to do that. Even if they see us fail with stuff, if you encourage them to do things that maybe they're going to fail at, I think it's so important that we don't protect them so much that we keep them from failing at stuff. Because I'm sure you could probably chime on this too. Like a lot of the things that has always held us back has always been like fear of failure, of thinking that like you are the failure. No, failure is an event, it's not a person. And if you're failing a whole bunch, at least I know that you're trying how to do things in different ways. That's really all it teaches us. So I think that's something that isn't taught around money or business or even just personal things. You got to keep getting back up and trying again. The failure is part of the journey.
Yeah, definitely is. And thinking about failure is not a setback, but it's more of a stepping stone. And it may take you in a different direction, but that's okay. Like you said, it's just part of the journey, it's part of the process. And we will learn something from that event that we will, implement in what we're doing going forward. And I agree with you 100%. People will not want to share their business ideas or what they're doing because they're fearing of that failure. I like to hear about it because then we can sit down and we can talk about what is it that you did, what is it that you learned, how do we change it going forward, and then take that information and just become a better version like of yourself going forward. Especially as a business owner, we're going to fail. There's going to be setbacks, but you just keep moving, working through it. So that's great. All right, so talk a little bit more about the group of women. Kind of how do you guys get together? How do you show up for each other? And, if someone else is looking to perhaps start a group of supportive women, what kind of thoughts or ideas do you have around someone who wanted to put that together?
Sure. I think the first thing is just advertise something. You would be amazed how many people are waiting for you to do something. Like I truly, truly feel like the universe puts things on people's hearts because other people are asking for it. And I really feel like if you didn't feel like you could lead a group of women or that you needed to make a group of women, you're not the right one to do that. Like I really have that true envisionment that things get put on your heart for a reason. So
Mhm.
if you are feeling like I need to find a group of women or I'd love to start a group of women, put it out there in social media. You can ask for anything that you want anywhere. Join some groups, find out what people are doing, go to some networking events. My biggest idea of starting Ladies Kicking Ass was going to these networking events and realizing there's nobody else that's like in the trades industry that's in here. I got a lot of hairstylists, or maybe I've got a lot of like real estate agents, which are all service, and I love that. But who are people that I can collaborate with and like send referrals to and build referral lists? You have to keep looking for it. And I truly believe that if you are vested in doing that and you can't find it, create your own. Put it out
Mhm.
there. The first time I put it out there to do like just like a happy hour with some ladies here in Gilbert, we had almost 22 ladies show up, and it was like 3 days before we actually did the event. I was like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
And it just continuously builds from there. You can have happy hours, you can do like working lunch things, you can have someone that comes in and they can learn 15 minutes of social media tactics. That's always a good one. Everyone's always looking for help with that.
Mhm.
Just little things to bring them in, to bring them together. Everyone comes together because they think they need something, the social media tactics, the person to collaborate with. But you will never know how awesome your business and your life can be until you find a supportive group of women that are cheering you on, not side eyeing you. Because
Mhm.
when you have that group of women in your life, everything changes.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Obviously, Empower Her Money came from that as well. So I agree with you
Yeah.
100%. All right. So shifting gears, I have a fun question for you. If you could have a superpower or a super talent, what would it be and why would you choose that?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know what? One thing that I wish I was so much better at, so I'm going to come from that angle of things. I wish that I was super awesome at asking for help for things better than I am and searching out people to be able to help me with things. I think a lot of times we stifle our own growth because one, we're too nervous to ask for help, or even sometimes we don't even know what the heck we need help with. So
Mhm.
being able, like one of those master delegators would be like something I wish that I could just grab a hold to and it wouldn't be so scary for me to do. Because I
Mhm.
often think even like first hires with businesses, you're like, no one's gonna love this as much as me. You're correct. It's like when you get a babysitter for your first baby and you like go through a million of them, and then by baby five, you're like, are you available? Like,
Yeah.
can you come in? Like you learn through each one of the people that you hire what you need, and it just continues to help you grow. So really being able to find the goodness and the trust in people to be able to take on those little mini tasks and things that we're doing can just elevate your life and your business so much. So can like master delegator be a superpower? I think so.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. And as business owners, it's definitely a skill set that we can all use or, flex that muscle a little bit more to ask for help. So I like that a lot. So Tanya, if anyone in our audience wants to reach out to you, if they want to hear more about this women's group or what you're doing in Arizona, how do they reach you?
Sure. My favorite place to hang out is Instagram, and you can find me at Ladies Kickin Ass. You can also find the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast anywhere where you find podcasts at. And if you're in the service industry of any kind and you have a really great story to tell, that's what we love to do and interview people for on the podcast. We want to get the story of the everyday badass working mom out there so that more people aren't just looking at celebrities of this example of who I want to be, but look how cool this woman is that is integrating kids into business and really cares about her community and loves her husband and herself. just as
Yeah.
much as anything else. So we really want to just continue to keep spreading the word that ladies kicking ass can be really anything to anybody. For some people, it's learning to take a rest. For some people, it's building a business. For some people, it's, you know what, I'm just going to sit back for a little bit and enjoy my babies while they're this age. And I think that we need to set a new standard that there isn't just one level of success. It looks different to whatever makes your heart happy.
Good, good. So ask for help if you need it. Find a community to help support you. Take care of yourself first and teach your children business. I love all of those takeaways, Tanya. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for Empower Her Money. Until our next episode, I am your host, Angela Duncan. Thanks for tuning in.